There's not a lot of humor to be found in wokeism or safetyism or whatever you want to call modern left-wing ideology, but since it's Friday, it's worth acknowledging something that everyone knows deep down, which is that there are a few things about it that are, if we're being honest, pretty funny. And here's one of them. Most jurisdictions in this country used to consider it a serious offense to lie and call somebody gay. If somebody was straight and you started spreading rumors that they're secretly gay, then until very recently, New York courts would punish you for that without a second thought. They'd call it defamation per se. You're making up lies about somebody. But in 2021, all that changed. The New York Appeals Court ruled that actually you can call people gay all you want, and it's not necessarily defamatory. Why is that? Well, because according to New York court judges, if you lie and call somebody gay, if anything, you're probably improving their reputation in the community rather than harming it. That's because being gay has become a status symbol, at least in places like Manhattan. So suggesting that somebody is secretly gay, it's like calling someone secretly a millionaire. It's a compliment, whether it's true or not. It's kind of amusing when you think about it. New York is now so woke that gay slurs, at least in some cases, are now acceptable. In that respect, strangely enough, New York is quite different from, say, the United Kingdom, another hotbed of leftism. Over there, they don't take kindly to unfounded accusations of homosexuality. We know that because this week, a team of police officers in Leeds raided the home of a 16-year-old autistic girl suffering from scoliosis. What was the girl's crime? Well, she said that one of the officers that was on this team of people arresting her looked like her lesbian relative. That's all this girl did. She didn't even imply that it was bad to be a lesbian in any way. She just said that this woman, this cop, looked like a lesbian. And for that, cops dragged her away. Here's what that looked like.
She's made a comment in her own house. You've got her on camera. She hasn't said anything to you. Don't matter.
She's getting arrested. She's getting arrested.
Why are you doing
units coming? Don't worry.
She hasn't done anything. She's autistic.
I don't care.
She's autistic. I know you're
arrested. I'm telling you, I've got units coming. She's going to be arrested tonight.
I'll wait till the police officers coming on. Like, what happened?
That's why we got her on the first place.
Fucking bitch, what me if I get police on me? Calm down. She's autistic. Can you staring at her, please? She's got autism. Can you just stand there? She's in a cupboard. She can't go anywhere. She can't go anywhere. Stand there, dear.
Have cops coming to remove her anyway.
They're going to remove her for what? You're bothered. Then she said the word lesbian. Her nana is a lesbian. She's married to a woman. She's not homophobic. Look what you're clenching your fist. Go away from my teenage daughter.
What is up with you?
There's something wrong with you, mate. She didn't aim it at the police officer.
Not homophobic remarks at my colleague.
This is what the British Empire has become. They used to rule the world. Now they scramble half the police department in response to a teenager who says, "Hey, you look like my lesbian nana." Now they're arresting a girl. Police are arresting a girl because that girl hurt the feelings of one of those police officers. It's quite a fall from grace, especially given that the police officer in question, if we're being honest, could definitely pass as a lesbian. Whether she's trying to look that way or not, it is a convincing display, let's just say. And at least in civilized, progressive utopias like New York, they celebrate that kind of thing. You go up to a cop and say, "You look like a lesbian." The cop will say, "Well, thank you so much." The UK obviously hasn't thought this all the way through, though, because by arresting autistic kids who say that women look like lesbians, especially when they actually do look like lesbians, they're sending the message that looking like a lesbian is a bad thing. It's, a horrendous insult. But that's the opposite of what the UK intends to do here. Really, they're trying to elevate LGBT people to a special sacred status and protect their feelings with the force of law, even if it means dragging a teenage girl to jail, kicking and screaming. But the truth is the United States isn't far from becoming the UK, where children are sent to prison for offending the government. What happened to that girl in the UK is quickly becoming a hallmark of so-called Western democracies. Recently in Canada, for example, a pastor was arrested for the crime of protesting drag queens who were trying to indoctrinate children. I want you to watch this news report carefully because it's one of the most incredible clips you'll ever see. Watch.
They should feel safe. There should never be an issue with safety.
A pastor who tried to stop a drag reading session for kids at the Seton Library last week has been charged by Calgary police. Parents now questioning if these events are safe enough to attend with their kids. Police were called when protesters interrupted the library's Reading with Royalty event that was being presented by drag personalities to kids, when several protesters entered the room shouting homophobic words at the children and their parents. 36-year-old Pastor Derek Scott Reimer was arrested and charged with hate-motivated crime for causing a disturbance and 1 count of mischief. In addition, City of Calgary peace officers have charged Reimer with 6 counts of harassment under the public behavior bylaw. Police say the disturbance scared the children who were at the reading sessions. Now parents wonder if these events are still safe to bring their families.
Yes, there should never be an issue with safety, says the woman. Police are questioning if the events are safe, says the reporter. Meanwhile, they show footage of the mob throwing the pastor to the ground. And the message is pretty clear. By safety, they mean you don't get to question their behavior or their viewpoints. You don't get to object when they sexualize children. Oh, because they want to sexualize children safely, and you're making it unsafe. And if you do, you'll get attacked and thrown in jail. That's what they mean when they say safety. Safety no longer means safety in the traditional sense. For a long time now, it's meant something closer to emotional comfort. Like that's what they mean when they say safety. To be safe is to feel good. It is to have nice feelings. And anyone who causes you to have not nice feelings and to feel not good is compromising your safety. This has been true in Canada for a while. A couple of years ago, a man who was down on his luck went on a rant at the office of his local member of parliament, who was a woman named Catherine McKenna. And here's what he said. Watch.
Can you help me? She says she's spending $10 billion a year on infrastructure. The PBO office, Yves Giroux, says she's only spending $5 billion a year. What's up with that? I don't go to work every day and bust my for this to steal our money. You're all scumbags. You're all pieces of trash. You scumbags. You're all kid pieces of trash, just like Justin Trudeau, raping kids. We charity. Sorry, kids in Africa. This money isn't for you. This money's for Justin Trudeau and his family. They need it a lot more than you. They need a bigger yacht. They need a bigger watch. They need 5 watches that are 20 grand. The scumbag pieces of I hope you all burn in hell. You're all going to get what you deserve, you traitors. Scumbag pieces of
All right, so he yells a few harsh words, including a few that were bleeped out. Makes some valid points as well, we should admit. But he never made any violent threats. And for that, Catherine McKenna called for a hate crime investigation, and authorities opened one. You see, in Canada, no one's allowed to say mean things to politicians. You can call conservatives white supremacists all you want, but don't you dare attack the people in power. You know a company is looking out for you when they actually upgrade your service and don't charge you for it. And this is great news for new and current Pure Talk customers. Pure Talk just added data for every plan and includes a mobile hotspot with no price increase whatsoever. If you've considered Pure Talk before but haven't made the switch, take a look again. For just $20 a month, you'll get unlimited talk, text, and now 50% more 5G data, plus their new mobile hotspot. That's why I love Pure Talk. They're veteran-owned, and they only hire the best customer service team located right here in the great USA. Most families are saving almost $1,000 a year while enjoying the most dependable 5G network in America. Remember, you vote with how you spend your money, so stop supporting woke wireless companies that don't support you. When you go to puretalk.com/Walsh, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month because they actually value you. That's puretalk.com/Walsh. Pure Talk, wireless for Americans, by Americans. As many of you know, we've been giving our dog Rough Greens for a while now, and we love it. Our dog seems happier, healthier, has more energy. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, the founder of Rough Greens, is focused on improving the health of every dog in America. Little did I know before I got Rough Greens, dog food is dead food. Everybody knows that nutrition isn't brown, it's green. Let Rough Greens boost your dog's food back to life. Rough Greens is a supplement that contains all the necessary vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega oils, digestive enzymes, and antioxidants that your dog needs. You don't have to go out and buy new dog food. You just sprinkle Rough Greens on their food every day. Dog owners everywhere are raving about Rough Greens. It supports healthy joints, improves bad breath, boosts energy levels, and so much more. We are what we eat, and that goes for dogs too. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Green is so confident Rough Greens will improve your dog's health. He's offering my listeners a free Jumpstart trial bag so you can try, you don't want to try. Your dog can try it. Or either one of you can try. You can try it together. A free Jumpstart trial bag can be at your door in just a few business days. So go to freeroughgreens.com/Matt or call 844-RUFF-700. That's freeroughgreens.com/Matt or call 844-RUFF-700 today. In a free country, which Canada, of course, isn't, cussing out politicians would be considered a virtuous act, if not a national pastime. A way to keep our leaders humble and on their toes. It's a good thing. But in Canada, it's a potential hate crime. Now, we'd like to think that these attacks on freedom of speech couldn't happen here, but the truth is they're already happening here. They're just not getting a lot of coverage. Recently in Watertown, Wisconsin, police arrested a young Christian man for simply reading the Bible on the sidewalk in the vicinity of a public drag event. But that was all he was doing, standing on the sidewalk, reading the Bible, and watch what happens to him.
Serve one another. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, beware lest you be consumed by one another.
Hey, what are you doing?
What is the problem?
I'm on vacation. What are you doing? What's wrong? What are you doing? I just think that my hand. You didn't give him any warning. You just grabbed the mic. No, this is the same one that we had in here before. Yeah, that was in there. It was not out here. What is wrong with you? What are you doing? You didn't give us any warning. Let it go. You guys have been warned.
They said they said we can speak out here on the sidewalk freely.
You can speak, but there's no amplified.
Nobody told us that.
What are you doing? Nobody told me that.
How come there's no amplification?
This.
Hey, you guys are acting like thugs, man. You're acting like straight up thugs.
Hey, you're taking away my property.
He has every right to be out here engaging in speech. He has every right to be out here engaging in speech.
He has every right to be out here engaging in speech, the guy holding the camera says, and he's right, but we don't live in a country that cares about that sort of thing anymore. Marcus Traders, the man who was arrested for reading the Bible there, later spoke to the city council about what happened, and I want you to listen to what he said.
Intolerance is an interesting word. Tolerance, intolerance, hatred, love, bigotry, things like that. Because really every culture has something that it's intolerant towards and something that it's tolerant of. I mean, there are things like murder and rape and stealing and just crimes that we are intolerant towards as a society. And so every society has something it's intolerant towards. The question is just, what is our object of intolerance and what is our object of tolerance? When I showed up Saturday, all I did was read from Scripture on the sidewalk. I read from the Bible, Galatians. And by the way, I wasn't reading Romans 1. I wasn't reading any passage that spoke against homosexuality or anything like that. I was reading a passage from the Bible about love. And I was arrested. No reason, not given any warning, not told anything about my amplification needing to be turning down. I was arrested and taken into custody simply for reading the Bible on the sidewalk.
One thing to keep in mind there when you watch that is, I don't know if the police will try to claim that, he's disturbing, you're using the megaphone. Trans activists, you flip this around and no one's getting arrested, obviously. I've had trans activists many times show up to my events and they can have bullhorns, they can have sirens. They show up with bullhorns, air horns, sirens that are going off the whole time to drown you out. Cops will not step in. They will not say a damn word. One guy reading a Bible gets arrested, on the other hand. Now, anyone watching that man knows that we just saw there, he knows that he's a far better person to have around children than men pretending to be women who talk to kids about their sexual fantasies. But Marcus Schrader was arrested anyway, and the drag queens were able to continue indoctrinating kids as the mothers of those kids looked on approvingly. It's the same thing that happens in Canada. Preach the gospel, go to jail. Preach perversion, police protect you. In many states in this country, this will soon become the norm. A bill that recently passed in the Michigan State House called HB 4474 would make it a hate crime to cause someone to, quote, feel terrorized, frightened, or threatened. And the bill specifies that sexual orientation and gender identity or expression are protected classes. If you make someone feel threatened because of their gender identity, you can go to prison for 5 years. Now, what does it mean to make someone feel threatened because of their gender identity? Well, you know the answer to that question. Trans activists have been screaming for years at maximum volume that unless you affirm them, unless you affirm everything they think and feel, then you're committing literal violence. You're a terrorist. You're engaging in genocide. So yes, this bill means that if you refuse to lie about basic facts of biology in the state of Michigan, then you'll go to jail, just like that girl in Britain. They'll haul you out of your home, and they'll arrest you for telling the truth, just as we're seeing in other parts of the world that also allegedly are or were free. They'll take the fight right to you. And if you don't believe that, consider what happened on Wednesday to an elderly man in Utah named Craig Robertson. Robertson was obese, old, 75 years old, used a cane to get around. He went to church on Sundays, took care of his blind son. But he also liked to post angry memes and comments on social media, mocking and threatening Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, other random political figures. In response to those memes, before dawn on Wednesday, the FBI went to Robertson's home. Now, neighbors report that as many as 50 agents were on the scene. Craig Robertson soon after was shot dead in a hail of bullets. Now, why did FBI agents kill Robertson exactly? We don't know. The FBI won't tell us. We asked them yesterday. They refused to explain. The New York Post now reports today that Robertson allegedly pointed a gun at the agents, and maybe he did. We don't know that at this point. Maybe we'll find out more. Maybe we won't. But we do know that the neighbors are all confused and disturbed, trying to figure out why the federal government would need to send dozens of armed agents to a disabled elderly man's home because of things he posted online. Now, if you saw them swarming his house and didn't have any context, you'd think that they were taking down a drug kingpin. You'd never guess that the guy's crime was a Facebook meme. So the question that many are asking, especially those in Robertson's community, is whether this level of response was actually necessary. Did the FBI really consider Robertson a credible threat to the President of the United States? It's hard to believe. Now, it's not to defend the things that Robertson posted online, obviously. The point is that the most powerful law enforcement organization in the country, which is funded by our tax dollars, is completely unwilling right now to explain why they killed an American citizen 2 days ago. They have no justification for why they decided to go after him at 6 a.m. in the morning. They don't seem interested in providing a justification. If you're living in the UK or Canada, then it's quite possible that none of this is particularly shocking to you. You're used to this kind of thing. But if you thought the United States could never descend into totalitarianism, as those countries have, then what's happening in many states across this country should disabuse you of that notion. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.